This guy seems to enjoy his pasta. This binoculars looks like someone I know. This doorbell in Venice looks surprised. This pepper looks like it's about to steal Christmas. And why is this bin smirking? We tend to see faces in non-human objects. But of course, these faces are just made up by our brain. So why do we see faces in random objects? Pareidolia. It sounds like a complex scientific term, but it's actually quite simple. It's the tendency of humans to perceive familiar patterns, especially faces, in random objects. From a smiley face in a potato to a frown on a tree, our brains are hardwired to recognize faces. But why is that? Our brains are exceptional at recognizing faces. This ability is so finely tuned that our brain's face recognition circuitry is some of the most advanced in our entire neurological system. It's called the fusiform face area. It helps us quickly identify people, which was crucial for social survival in our evolutionary past. In fact, studies show that we can detect a face in just 1/10 of a second. That's faster than we recognize most objects. Evolution has really cranked this process up because identifying faces has been crucial for our survival. If you're in the wild, seeing the face of a predator, real or not, could be the difference between life and becoming someone's lunch. Imagine this. You're a prehistoric human walking through the forest. Out of the corner of your eye, you think you see a bear's face staring at you. Is it a bear? Your brain isn't going to waste time analyzing. It's going to scream bear and get you out of there before you become a snack. And here's the cool part. Your brain doesn't need a perfect face to trigger that response. Just 3 dots in a triangular pattern, or even a couple of squiggly lines, and your brain is like, yep, that's a face. This is why you can look at something as simple as a power outlet and think it's silently judging you. But pareidolia goes beyond just recognizing faces. It's a broader phenomenon where our brains impose meaning onto random patterns. We might see an animal, a symbol, or even a word in something that was never intended to represent it. Why does this happen? It's partly because our brains are wired to seek patterns. This pattern recognition is a fundamental cognitive process that helps us make sense of the world. When we see a face in a piece of toast, it's not just a trick of the light. It's our brain doing what it's been designed to do, interpret and find significance in what it sees. It's not just about recognizing faces. It's also about interpreting them. We don't just see a face. We often assign emotions, personalities, and even backstories to them. This is the same reason why people thought they saw a face on Mars. Our brain is so good at finding faces that it's even willing to find them on other planets. Now, you might wonder, once your brain realizes the face is fake, why do you still see it? Good question. Researchers using brain imaging techniques have found that while it takes just 1/10 of a second to detect a face, it takes a little longer, around 1/4 of a second, for your brain to realize, hey, this isn't real. Even after that, you can still see the face, because once the brain commits to something, it's hard to let go. This is why you'll keep seeing faces in objects, even after you know it's just a rock or a tree or a cloud. So, the next time you see a grumpy sandwich or a smiling car, remember, it's just your brain working a little too hard to make sense of the world. And it's okay, because seeing faces in random things is just one of the many ways your brain helps you navigate the world. After all, better to see too many faces than none at all.